So, you've probably heard that the newly elected Mayor of London has called for a crackdown on body image advertisements on the TfL network. If you're not from the UK, the TfL network is the Transport for London network that has responsibility for principal road routes around London, various rail networks including the London Underground, London's trams, buses, taxis, cycling lanes, and river services. Now, some people have made videos and comments about this being a backdoor way or first step at trying to introduce a form of Sharia law into London, given that the new mayor is a Muslim. Well, I'm not buying it, because I'm sorry to say, people of London, that horse has bolted. I mean, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but apparently there are at least 85 Islamic courts in operation in the UK today. And according to Islamic court scholar Kola Hassan, quote, "We don't know how many Sharia councils there are in Britain. Most of the smaller councils are not registered in any way. They are private little organisations that have been set up in the back room of a mosque or in the house of an imam. They are completely below the radar." So is Khan trying to mainstream the idea that women should cover up? Or is he just buying into the feminist narrative about body shaming? Well, I say, why split hairs? You see, feminism and Islam have a lot in common. They both want women to cover up, although feminists only want to cover up certain kinds of women, attractive ones. And they both want to no platform and silence the people who criticise or disagree with their poisonous ideology. But what did Khan actually say? This from the press release. Quote, "As the father of 2 teenage girls, I am extremely concerned about this kind of advertising which can demean people, particularly women. Of course, the poor, oppressed women's, and make them ashamed of their bodies. It's high time it came to an end. You sanctimonious prick. Here's a pointer for all the sensitive sissies out there. If you feel demeaned by a poster of a healthy, attractive person, that's on you. Society doesn't owe you the expectation of your own emotional safe space wherever you go. If you can't handle a billboard of a fit, good-looking individual, you're sending a clear message that you can't cope with reality, and you should stay home until you can." And it continues, "Nobody should feel pressurized." Pressurized? What are you, a fucking steak in a vacuum-packed plastic tray? Surely that should read pressured. Maybe his teenage daughters wrote this. Nobody should feel pressurized while they travel on the tube or bus into unrealistic expectations surrounding their bodies. And I want to send a clear message to the advertising industry about this. Yeah, your message is clear. You're a weak, pathetic baby offended by signs. Wonder how your kids are going to turn out. But you got to give it to him though. This is a politically savvy move. It bolsters his cred with the beekeeping crowd and virtue signals to the feminists and the emotional weaklings that he's looking out for them. But remember what sparked all this controversy. It was the 2015 campaign, "Are You Beach Body Ready?" from Protein World, which triggered SJW crybullies into defacing public billboards and frantically tweeting up a storm about it. And what did Protein World do? Well, they did something that most cowardly corporations and public figures won't do. They gave these hysterical crybabies the big middle finger. Here's a sample. In response to this snarky SJW, "Grow up." Exactly. And in response to this toddler, who said, "Surely as a media student, Tom, you understand appropriate PR. Surely as a feminist, Vicky, you understand that no one takes you seriously." Absolutely fucking brilliant. And my personal favourite, and the one that really gets to the heart of the matter. Why make your insecurities our problem? Fucking mic drop. I'm out. But what of the backlash? Well, according to the CEO, after 4 days, sales were up with over 5,000 new customers. And here's what Head of Marketing Richard Staveley had to say. Quote, when it was put to Richard that the ads could be seen as placing undue pressure on women, leading to more judgment on the beach, the sort of judgment that men don't get. He responded that they had a customer base of 300,000, 84% of which are women, and that they had done meticulous research on what motivated them, and this is exactly what they wanted to see. So the facts are that most women either find these signs aspirational or they don't give a shit. But in the age of feelings first, we have to rearrange society to conform to the mental disposition of emotional infants.
Listen up, maggots. You are not special. You are not a beautiful or unique snowflake. You are the same decaying organic matter as everything else.